What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to JoJo Speaks for my night of hot topics and social commentary. Thank you to everyone that is joining me on tonight. Thank you to everyone who is seeing this video after it's posted. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys for watching. A couple things I want you guys to do before we get started. Be sure to press that big red subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. It takes less than a second to mash that thing. So why don't you go ahead and mash it? Be sure to give me a like, press the thumbs up button for me. Let me know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the topics that we are discussing on tonight. Be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks. I get tongue-tied every time I say that. Please sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know that JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Genesita will be joining us momentarily. Once she gets here, we will get to all the comments down there in the comments because I know y'all are there. Thank you once again so much for being here tonight. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Cheryl Lee Ralph. Cheryl Lee Ralph has her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So shout out to Cheryl Lee Ralph. It is very much deserved. I think those celebrities pay for them things, but I'm not for sure. But I'm so glad that she is getting her flowers while she is still here. But before Jennifer gets here, I do want to bring up a case that is happening. I'm not exactly sure which state is happening in, but I did see this on my timeline on Instagram. So a young man by the name of Carmelo Anthony. Now, his name is not spelled C-A-R-M-E-L-O, like Carmelo Anthony, the basketball player, but his name is spelled K-A-R-M-E-L-O. Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony has been charged with taking the life of a young man by the name of Austin Metcalf. This happened at a track meet, at a high school track meet. Both of these young men were high school juniors or seniors. And so Mr. Carmelo allegedly, I don't know if I can say the word, but you see the motion. He did this to Mr. Austin Metcalf. Carmelo went into, there were a couple of different schools at this track meet, right? And so they had designated areas at the track meet to where all the teams were congregated and, doing whatever it is that they were doing. And so apparently Carmelo went to Austin Metcalf's school tent and seemed like he might have been threatening, something of that nature. Austin told him to leave, and Carmelo was like, well, what you gonna do if I'm not gonna leave? And so apparently Austin had shoved him or something of that nature, and Carmelo said, you don't want to push me or something of that nature, and he eventually pulled a weapon out of his bag and did this to Mr. Metcalf. Mr. Metcalf unfortunately passed away, and so Carmelo was arrested. He is now out on bond. And the Metcalf family is not happy about this. Carmelo Anthony, he is claiming self-defense. Now, self-defense can be a little finicky because for me, if both people don't have a weapon, then that to me takes self-defense out of the conversation altogether. Because if one person has a weapon, the other person does not have a weapon, how can you claim self-defense if the altercation is not equal on those standards? If it's two people fighting with fists, if it's two people fighting with weapons, if both people have a weapon, then yes, I can understand you claiming self-defense. But if you're the only one with a weapon and your victim has no weapon whatsoever in sight, to me, that does not say self-defense. However, there is an organization that is supporting Carmelo Anthony's family. It's similar to what Ben Crump does. There is a Black lawyer who is representing this family. Mr. Metcalf's father was at this press conference that they were having. He was escorted from the press conference. I completely understand this Austin Metcalf's family's frustration with the support that Carmelo Anthony's family and Carmelo Anthony himself are receiving, because they feel as though their son's life was taken for no reason. And I would agree with that. I would be disappointed if Carmelo Anthony was not held accountable for what he did, because he literally took someone's life. And for him to say it was self-defense and he used a weapon where his victim did not have a weapon, I can't say that, no matter what Austin Metcalf said to him, you can't take someone's life in retaliation for something someone said, or being pushed. You know what I'm saying? I understand that the man wasn't even punched, he wasn't kicked, he wasn't, nothing that physical happened, but Carmelo Anthony felt the need to take out a weapon and take the man's life. So I can understand why he's getting Carmelo Anthony is getting all of this support, because it looks bad when a black man is taking the life of a white person. But it's to me, it's not self-defense. It doesn't look right, and I would be upset too if someone had taken the life of a family member or a friend of mine, and they were out on bond, free to walk, free to do whatever it is that they wanted to do. Yes, he's probably under some type of probationary elements, probably on a ankle monitor, something of that nature. I'm sure those things are happening, but I would be upset if the person who took my family member or friend's life is out here just doing whatever it is they want to do. Once again, if you've heard of this, let me know. Jennifer, hey, what's going on? You came a lot quicker than I expected you to, girl. But thank you so much for being here. How you doing, sis?
I'm happy to be here. Yeah, that whole story was horrible. What else you talk about though?
That's all that I
Is it
well. Oh, I
okay?
also talked about Shirley Ralph getting her star on the Walk of Fame.
As she should. I literally just watched a video of her getting it. Yeah, she looks so happy and joyful. I'm very happy for her,
She does. She does.
and she deserves it.
Right. But you've heard of that case?
Yeah, I just didn't know like the specifics of the case.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's sad.
It's extremely sad. It is extremely sad. Do we have any comments to get to, Gerd?
Uh, we have. Oh Lord, where did it go? Don't mind me.
I won't.
Um,
I
just so,
typically do, you know what I'm saying. But if you if you advise me not to, don't expect me not to.
well, thank you. Dustin says hi.
Hey, Dustin.
There we go.
Cool beans. So Miss Gail King, she is in the news because she recently went to space with I think 4 or 5 other women. And I don't know
As
exactly.
well as Katy Perry, she went up there too.
Katy Perry went up there too. Okay. So she became a meme because of her face before she went on to the I don't know if it's called an aircraft or the space shuttle, whatever it is that they mounted to get out into space. Spaceship, who knows? Whatever it is, after she rung the bell, her face looked like she was terrified. And then when she got off of the spacecraft, I guess it's called the spacecraft, she kissed the ground. And so she seemed to be not upset about that, but she seemed to be. I saw her in an ET interview. And apparently, people I don't know if she's expecting gratitude or flowers from people for going out into space. Like, I don't know what they were doing up there. I don't know what kind of conservation type of thing that they were doing. Apparently, they're talking about putting trash into space to, clean up the earth and all this good stuff. And Gail, I'm sorry to break it to you, but we don't care. And I feel as though she's upset that people don't care about her going into space, with it being as seemingly traumatic as it was for her. I guess she expected people to, give her a round of applause, give her an award, give her a prize, give her, hey, Gail went out into space. To be honest, I'm really surprised that her wig remained attached to her head while she was up there. But hey, it is what it is. You and your shake and go can go, honey. Okay, that's one of the TikToks Jennifer sent to me. But I'm. It's like, what was she expecting? I don't know what she was expecting. Was she expecting adoration? Was she expecting props? What was she expecting? I'm confused about that. Jennifer, what are your thoughts on this whole Gail King going to space situation?
First of all, hello, Miss Kim. How are
Hey, Miss
you?
Kim.
Peace and blessings to you and to yours. And she also says, I kept hearing about this case. I thought it was Lala's ex-husband. Yeah, same name.
Right.
Thanks for covering it because I was clueless.
Yeah. It's really sad, Miss Kim. It's extremely sad. Extremely sad.
So This whole thing about those ladies going to space, they were under the impression that the world will look at this as a moment of women's empowerment and stuff, and um, I believe the bulk of them got kind of upset at the fact that nobody cared uh,
Right.
what they were doing. What really messed me up is the way that Katy Perry and Gail talked about the situation.
Mm.
Jonathan, they only went up there for 11 minutes
11 minutes. Is that 11 minutes space time or 11 minutes Earth
Yeah!
time? Because I know space time is completely different from what it is. Because I know space can feel like a month when it's actually a year up there. So, like, what were the specifics, honey?
11 Earth minutes, Jonathan. They
Wow.
were in space. And I don't even think it was space. I believe they literally just left the Earth. I don't even think they left the Earth's atmosphere. I think they went real high. And there we have it. Personally,
Because when I saw the video, the Earth looked really big, so it didn't look like they were too far from the actual Earth itself. Like, the moon still looked like it was kind of far away. So,
because it was.
oh, okay, okay,
And from looking at the capsule that they were in, it did not see them big old, huge old windows. It just feels like there's no way they left the Earth atmosphere. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And they're just saying they went to space. They didn't have any of their own oxygen prepared with them.
Really?
They didn't have a helmet or anything. Because, like
No,
when you
no
see
helmet.
astronauts, you see them come out there with the whole pressurized suits, the
Spacesuit, yes.
helmets, and everything like that, right? Even
Mhm.
when they get back to this Earth, because there's a process of, coming from a pressurized space coming into Earth, it's a whole new atmosphere. So, no, none of that was there. And also, people are starting. I need to send you some more of the conspiracy theories,
You should. Please
um,
do. I'll watch them.
because I'm not even gonna go there. Let me just say this: what Gail was saying, that's what
Mhm.
bothered me the most. Her
Okay.
saying, like, it's really difficult for me to call myself an astronaut, but like, girl, it's difficult for you to call yourself an astronaut because you're not an
You're
astronaut.
not that. Okay, yes, exactly.
And she says, we had a mission. Girl,
What was it?
girl.
Please inform us.
And y'all weren't doing the mission finding. Y'all were just asked to come. This was just a publicity stunt. Sometimes the rich people, Jeff Bezos, need
Mhm.
to just start a process of reading the room.
Right.
We don't care about going to space. Let me tell you. Funky Don even said, "You guys spending y'all rich people money because a bunch of millionaires in there spending y'all rich people money to go up to space. When people over here trying to get enough money together to go around the corner,
Right. The cost of blueberries is going up, honey.
trying to get their money together."
Okay. I'm trying to put food on my table, girl.
Okay, trying to get their money together to go to work. So it was very ill advised to pull a stunt like that. And on top of that, people, once again, like I said, was questioning the validity of the whole situation because of what they were wearing, and it's like, come on, they just went really high in the sky to me.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
saw somebody make a video comparing the thickness of that craft to a regular airplane.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Airplane is thick. It looked like that was a bunch of cardboard glued together. To
Wow.
me, the way that I need to send you them things. I'm
Are,
sorry.
are are you surprised they made it?
I don't. I can't say that I'm not. Okay. I never believed they were going.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Understood. Understood.
Oh,
Because somebody compared it to that those rich people that went down to see the Titanic. Like they compared it to that. So I don't know if it was because of the actual situation or the actual aircraft that they used to actually get up there. I was a little bit
it
confused about
was a
that.
legitimate rocket, but
Mm,
I wholeheartedly do not believe they left the Earth atmosphere.
wow. Wow.
Because and then and then people were talking about like if that's what they really did, I'm sure the people that stayed 8 months in space
Okay.
were like, if that was the case, if it was
Right.
that easy, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So I believe they went somewhere, but I don't believe that they went as far as they, want to make us think they did. Um, Miss Kim says, I need Gail with a bad wig to read the room because her rocket ride was not the flex she thought it was.
Exactly.
And she's
Like your TikTok said, they literally busted a Yui. Literally busted a Yui. Oh, we're here. Let's go back. Okay.
11 minutes, Jonathan.
Wow. That's crazy.
And then when people were looking at, the video or what little bit of pictures of them while they were in space, and I use space very loosely,
Mhm.
you just saw their hair coming up just a little bit when
Yeah.
old
And they were
lady.
floating. They were floating in midair. They were.
But some people are saying the lady that was up there for 8 months, all her hair was like this.
Okay. Okay. All over
Okay.
everywhere.
Okay. So, you know, I just don't believe they went as far as they trying to make it seem as if they went.
You always have that one lock that is just like
Hello.
okay.
It's reaching me higher to the Lord.
It is. Yes. Yes. Ha ha ha. Yeah.
Lord, don't do it.
Yes. What's going on, Tammy? Thank you so much for
Hello, it's
being here, my
Tammy.
love.
And she says, shame on them for acting like this was some attempt to uplift women and trying not to make it look like the elitist thing that it was.
Okay.
Because that's literally what it was. A mission, Gail King, on an astronaut mission. She calling herself an astronaut, Jonathan. Anyway,
Really?
she's
Like, you are not that, girl.
Miss Tammy says, and P.S. They are not astronauts. So can we stop with that?
Please. Please. Okay.
Astronauts, and it's like when I think astronauts, it's not even just the clothing and stuff. It's like, did you go through the rigorous training that an actual astronaut has to do to get up there?
The
Y'all ain't had to go
preparation.
on. Yeah, y'all ain't had to go to no 5G training. Y'all ain't had to. Nah,
Did y'all go to the Space Center in Orlando, Florida? Did y'all
no.
go there at all? Was there any training involved? Was there any preparation? Were you prepared, like Scar said in The Lion King? I think not.
They showed up like they show up for any flight. Okay, to come in and wear a cute little outfit. You know what I'm saying? Little blue little outfit.
It was real cute
It
though.
was real cute.
They
That was a
looked
real
like
cute
they did
outfit.
look like they were going to space though. Like they did look like they were
But
they
they ain't
were
had no
going to
helmets, no
space.
nothing. No helmets. I'm sorry. Miss Kim says, there's a convicted felon in the office. We are on the verge of a recession and a trade war is imminent. Don't nobody care about the 7-minute rocket ride.
Don't nobody care. The rocket ride. I love that, Miss Kim. The rocket ride, honey. And Gail got upset about people using the word ride, but that's exactly what it was, girl. That's exactly what it was. Maybe
I knew
about
you.
10 times longer than the average roller coaster. Like the average roller coaster lasts about maybe a minute or so, maybe a minute and a half.
Hmm. Let me tell you, that's why I sent you the
It
ones that I
was a
sent
ride.
you.
That's why people were using that word because it was a ride.
It was a ride. That's the why I sent you the videos that I sent you because I know it'll make you laugh
Yes.
because of the ridiculosity of the space. And I literally just sent you a couple of videos of people making fun of Katy Perry and how she's talking like, she has, reached some kind of whatever, basically as if she's, oh my gosh, everything is so weighty down here on earth. And then, when I was I was up in space and I went to this wonderful space, that has the greatest drinks. The best thing that got there was the get them. That's what I got from there. It was absolutely amazing. Not all aliens are green. And please tell me why they were talking. That was just, satire.
Of
But
course.
I heard Gail talk about how they wanted her to sing like roar or something while they
Mm,
were up there,
really?
like or firework or something.
One of them hits.
What are we doing? What was the mission? Okay.
Why are we up here? Why?
Why? Dustin says, I'm kind of skeptical about the whole situation with space. Don't leave space. I agree. That whole situation. um, as Tammy said, ever see real astronauts' outfit compared to what they wore?
Yes. I've seen full spacesuits, honey, and those were not that at all.
They look more like Power Rangers than astronauts
For real. On their off day.
on their off day. Tina McCollum says it was a roller coaster of lies. And last comment here. Tina McCollum says that one lock is out of space.
It is.
Mm,
It is absolutely.
mm.
Chad is just doing its own thing. But hey, I had those same issues when I was first starting out my locks. Like I literally used bobby pins to keep my hair down from not springboarding up, down, and all around, honey. Anyways, Coachella has happened, y'all. I loved seeing the video of Missy Elliott where she was literally a transformer. It was
Yes.
amazing. She was out there in the crowd and she was just doing her thing. I love to see it. Meg the Stallion brought Sierra, Victoria Monet, and
Did you?
Queen Latifah
I'm
on
sorry.
stage.
I'm
When
getting excited.
Sierra came out with her dancers, I was so happy for her. And then Meg started doing the choreo. I went up, I went up, I went up, I
I was
went up,
done.
I went up.
Yes.
Like it's I just love seeing the love between women in music. Like
Yes.
when Beyonce brought Meg Thee Stallion out to her Renaissance tour to perform Savage, and Beyonce said, "I love you, girl," and Meg just to the top of her lungs, "I love you,
Yes.
Beyonce!"
That
Like
was any of us.
it's amazing to me, and so. When I saw like Sierra coming out and then Meg just picked up on the choreo, I was everything. And the thing is, like, I'm not even that big into Meg Thee Stallion's music, and I feel like I feel like she deserves for me to give her my time to get into her
She
music
does.
because she's just amazing. And she could have a big head. She could have the head of someone else in the female rap game that thinks she's the queen and she thinks she's everything, the best thing since sliced bread. But no, Meg is so humble,
Yes,
and
she
that's
is.
what I appreciate about her. And I love that she gave Sierra that moment. Even though Sierra doesn't need that moment, she got a husband who's making millions upon millions on millions. She got about 5 kids, 4 by the man and one with Future. She's doing her thing, but she gives props where props are due. And it brought me such joy. Such joy. Jennifer, what was your reaction? Even though you kind of said it already.
Yes. It always makes my heart very happy to see her. I don't know if you know the significance, but she also had about she did a song and had about three or four dancers that was dressed as Bigfoot.
Really?
Do you know the significance of that?
I don't think I do now.
Nicki Minaj referred to
Oh,
her as Bigfoot during that
oh,
back and forth. So
okay.
she has she had some Sasquatches back there dancing with her. I said there
Do
were
your
some
thing,
people
girl.
okay, there were some people acting as if she was being like petty or whatever. It's like if somebody write a song about you
Dedicated to you. Okay, yes.
directly to you, you have every right to
Every right to
do
clap back.
whatever.
Every right.
Exactly. So I thought that was great. I'm surprised you didn't see any of Lady Gaga. She had about 20 songs that she did in her thing.
Here's my thing about Lady Gaga
Ooh,
because
and I'm sitting back because I know you do. Come on.
I went up. I went up for Lady Gaga when she initially came out. However, her music after her album, I think it was Art Pop,
Yeah.
for me is not the music that I want to hear from Lady Gaga. So when she performs, it's not the Lady Gaga of old. Even though I know a newer song that she has does harken back to her,
The
to her
Abracadabra
first,
song?
yes, to her first couple of albums. However, once I've lost interest in an artist, I kind of drop off, altogether. And so that's the reason why I had no interest in seeing. I'm sure she put on a show. Lady Gaga is going to give you your money's worth every single time that you attend a Lady Gaga show.
And she did do
However,
old songs too, Jonathan.
yeah, maybe I will go watch those videos on YouTube. But for me, Lady Gaga is not the artist that I fell in love with. And
These days, at least.
These days, yes. And so that's the reason why I wasn't interested in searching out those videos.
And that's okay, because growth is necessary.
It is absolutely. But hey, go. I'm here for the boys, Lady Gaga, and the money, honey, Lady Gaga, and AA. I'm still listening to that on Chopping Screwed, honey. So it is what it is.
TD McCullum says T-Pain was amazing. So
I will definitely find his performance.
One thing I love is that he had costume and everything, Jonathan.
Of course.
It was a whole show, dances and everything, whole stage and everything. He put work into it. And I don't know if you know, I follow him on TikTok, him and his Nappy Boy Gaming. I follow all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I saw some of his process and getting ready for his Coachella thing.
Okay.
And of course, TikTok, I get a little bit of everything. So on TikTok, one of the biggest things that I noticed is there was a couple of people that saying, you know what, Coachella, hear us and hear us now. Put T-Pain at a bigger stage.
Yeah.
Jonathan, you should have seen, like, this was a stage, and all the way back yonder, people were standing even outside of the stage area just to listen to what T-Pain was doing. T-Pain, his resurgence it's
beautiful.
It is amazing. It's beautiful. People are at his concerts as if his music came out yesterday.
Yes.
And to be honest, personally, I feel like that's basically attributed to the kind of man that he is.
And that shows the genius of his work. And
absolutely.
And is a testament to how big he was when he was out constantly at number ones. I don't know how many number ones he done been on, child, but when he was constantly in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, like he was on the radio nonstop for some years.
You couldn't escape the man.
Honey. No, you could not at all. And that's the reason why Usher felt the need to tell him that he ruined music, because he was all over the music. His DNA was in the music, period.
And I'm so happy that T-Pain felt free enough to say all the things that people have said about him, all the way from Jay-Z to Usher to all the things that made him feel away, made him feel rejected by the system. But I'm happy he found his way back. First of all, through the first season of The Masked Singer, winning it.
Yes.
Because you can't deny that voice.
You cannot, no.
And then after that, having so many things happen, like the Tiny Desk thing, just so many different things making him relevant. And also his gaming channel, introducing him to a whole nother crowd of people, to the point where he had to have that Wisconsin tour and stuff like, or show and stuff like that. So he's doing so much. I talk about him like he's my brother, big brother, something like that, because I love me some T-Pain.
Yes.
Though absolutely. I may have only gotten on him when, Epiphany came out. I wasn't listening to rapper turned singer. But that Epiphany is everything.
Everything.
Everything from top to bottom. Okay. So I'm so happy for him. He was in like a steampunk kind of situation. It was a whole thing, Jonathan. So I want you to make sure, and he dancing. He was dancing all over the place. So I'll make sure to send you some of those videos as well as they come across my thing.
When I tell you Up Down is like the most underrated club bop, like the way that I want to go up and down on that thing, like, and want to sing the background vocals at the same time. Child.
What song? Because you ain't trying to sing back that A word up.
And then had the queen of the kingdom, Mama D, in the video. Like what? What?
He said, I ain't got no problem spending all of my money. And the call and response thing is so infectious. I love.
Yes.
Let's
Because it's
not
what
dwell
we
over
do. It's
T-Pain.
what we do as
We
Black
love it.
people. It's what we do. You're about to read a comment. I think I saw you put a
Yeah.
comment up there.
Miss Kim says, I'm waiting on that jumpsuit to come. I'm sorry. I'm waiting on that jumpsuit to come out for Halloween so I can be an astronaut too.
Yes, yes.
You
Be
know they
Gail King
going
for
to,
Halloween, honey.
and
Okay.
Gail gonna be pissed even the further.
She will.
She needs to sit down
I don't know why she feels like she's, and I
because
don't want to sound disrespectful, but she feels like what she did was so important. I don't want to say she's not important, but what she
it's
did was not important at all.
it's a detachment from reality, Jonathan.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just
Her
because
ears aren't close to these streets, honey. Her
just
ears are
because
nowhere near
this
the streets.
is something that just because that this became something that you didn't think it was going to be, you
Hmm.
can't be mad at how we reacted to it.
Right. Yeah.
Just because you ain't do your homework to see y'all want to see me go up it, because even when they were talking about it, she was talking about it and she looked like she was scared to death of doing it,
And she looks scared to get death getting on the thing.
and we were all saying like maybe you shouldn't do it,
Right.
and nobody's interested. Okay,
She must have gotten paid. She must have gotten paid to do this thing. She must
you know
have
she got paid.
got a
And
check.
then let's be real. On top of that, Katy Perry was the only person that they could get to come on that thing, because her star is literally at embers right now.
Okay.
Nobody is paying no attention to her. You know she put out new music?
No, I didn't.
Surprise, surprise. I know, right? So
Surprise, surprise. Now I will give you Teenage Dream was the biggest of the like I was bumping Teenage Dream like nobody's business, honey. I mean, that was what it was, but it literally was what it was. Like
at
back
that
in
time,
2000, what,
but
10, I think it was.
because even if she came out with another Teenage Dream today, we tired of her.
Exactly. And pop music isn't like that. Like people aren't listening to pop music like that like they were back in her day.
Child, I don't even think she realized it's her, not the music. I
Yeah.
don't care how much
Yeah.
you put out. We don't care. And then, okay, you know that situation with Kesha and that dude that, did her wrong?
Uh
That
Max.
producer. Yeah.
Yeah.
After the whole thing came out, after the whole lawsuit and everything, and now we know who that
Yeah.
man is and what he's done,
Right. Yeah. She still worked with him, didn't she?
she still go back to work with that man.
Of
What makes
course.
you think?
Because she want to hit. She want to get back on them charts, honey. She don't give a
But
damn.
but at what cost? And she finding out that cost right now because she in the hole. Ain't nobody trying to buy that music.
No, not at
Ain't nobody
all.
paying no attention to her. Whatever women's empowerment thing that she's trying to do right now. That's what she's trying to do. I'm gonna have to see the
Okay.
video. She looked like she on something.
Oh wow.
Because and the way I say that, it looks like she's on something because she's so detached from real life. And you can
Mm.
see it in her eyes. It's like, this this is what real life is. I'm doing something amazing, something that's earth shattering. No,
And
you're not.
aliens aren't just green. Like who says that?
No, that was satire, Jonathan. Anyway, Miss Kim says Latifah snapped. Meg's entire set was everything. I do agree, and she unfortunately she did get cut off. I don't know if you heard that
Oh, I didn't
at the
hear that.
end.
No.
Yeah, they had to make room for Paul Post Malone.
Okay.
She
Okay.
got cut off at the end, from what I heard. And Miss Kim said Missy is so creative.
She is.
Um,
She
but
is.
I believe that people will continue to give them their due. But God bless, man.
And speaking of Meg Thee Stallion, Slim Thug, fellow Houston rapper, he feels as though Megan Thee Stallion has a crush on him because
Girl,
she danced to his
girl.
his music. Like, first of all, can we talk about that beard and how
Okay, let's talk about it.
disturbing it looks?
You said
Like,
disturbing.
because here's my thing, like I'm all for facial hair. Like first time I went up to Philly, honey, I thought I was in heaven seeing all them beards and mustaches
Yeah,
and all
there
that
are a
good
lot of
stuff.
beards
Like,
up there.
but and Millie from Hell's Kitchen has a really long beard as well. But Slim Thug's beard looked like it has horns at the end of them. It's about 7 inches long, 7, 8, 9, 10 inches long, down to his chesticles. Like I know he. I don't. I hope he's not serious. Like I really really hope that he's not serious. Cause like Slim Thug, you lost a good thing when Latoya Luckett had to leave your cheating ass. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but she still put him in the She Don't video. I love that video by Latoya Luckett, by the way. Anyways, but like Slim Thug, like you got to remember who you are and who Meg the Stallion is. Like I could see if Slim Thug looked like Michael B. Jordan, you know what I'm saying, or Tyson Beckford. Nah, I mean, if he looked like a fine man. Not to say that Slim Thug ain't good looking, because I was definitely looking at him back in the day, especially when he still had his cornrows. He got really nice lips. Like it's she's something to look at for sure. But Meg is up here, Slim Thug. So, but
Like,
he's been on this internet, clout chasing for a minute.
it's okay. People can dream.
Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. Any comments before we move on, Jennifer?
No.
So, Bobby Brown was on Club Shay Shay, and Shannon Sharp asked him about his feelings on people sampling his music and doing things of that nature, and do they have to get his permission to sample his music? And Bobby Brown's response was, no, I don't like it when they do that. And he went on to say, Britney Spears butchered my prerogative. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Britney Spears covered My Prerogative for her Greatest Hits album back in the day. She put that out as a single to sell the CD, so it wasn't actually on a new album or anything of that nature. Here's my thing. Britney Spears' rendition of My Prerogative has never been my favorite, and I live for Britney Spears. Britney Spears is my girl. I love me some Britney Spears. At least early 2000s Britney Spears, because Blackout and Forward is. She does have good music. Like I got some, nice. She got some nice songs on Film Fatale, some nice songs on Circus. Radar is my jam. But I will say though, I understand why Bobby Brown felt that way about My Prerogative, because although Teddy Riley did produce her version of My Prerogative, it was very pop, it was very Britney, and it was what I would expect her to do on it. She did use auto
Exactly.
tune for a couple of lines, so of course it sounded absolutely nothing like what Bobby Brown did. Besides the fact that she was saying the same words and did the same melody, but I get why Bobby Brown said what he said. Now, Shannon Sharp did say, "Well, you had to clear it. You had to say that it was okay." But he said, "Well, I thought it was Britney Spears. Teddy Riley was doing it, so I thought it was going to be everything, and I thought it was going to be great. I thought she would do it justice." But
Who
I
did you think was
understand.
singing this thing? Come
To
on
be
now.
to be
Let's
honest,
let's
I think Bobby left out the money part.
Yeah, I think he's just saying
You
stuff
know,
just to be saying stuff at this point.
right?
Or may
But I understand why he would feel that way about someone doing that to his work. But at the same time, it's Britney Spears. So like what else? She did
what
what
were
I
you
would expect her to
expecting?
do. Exactly.
It's
So
it sounds like he wanted a black R&B man to go ahead and cover it. You know what I'm
right.
saying? It's like
Because I would love for Chris Brown to cover some Bobby Brown tracks.
that would be awesome.
That would be amazing, because I live for Chris Brown's vocals at all times. Or some other like Miguel, or some other male black artists to do it. But Britney did what she did with it. She wanted to sing it because it fit her aesthetic, it fits her life, it fits what she does. She does what she wants. But Bobby, like you really can't be that upset because you cleared it. So once you give the permission, it's literally out of your hands. Literally out of your hands. Jennifer, had you heard of this story? And we've kind of already gotten your reaction to it, but what else you got to say about this?
I've already heard I've heard a little bit of it, but it's like my thing is that you know how I feel, man. I think it's just pointless.
Yeah.
But I forgot to mention the second weekend of Coachella's, coming up. So there's more to
Okay.
watch. Hmm.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right.
Hold on. Miss Kim says, s- uh, I know I did that. Slim Thug will look better with a regular beard.
He would. Like he's a handsome man, Miss Kim. Like to me, he's always been handsome. He's always been handsome to me.
It's
But
just proof to me
he,
that
That beard is disturbing, y'all. It's
Mm.
ridiculous. And even Millie curls up his beard while he's cooking, so it's not getting in the way, but
Miss
that
Kim
thing
said,
is down here.
Miss Kim said, butchered is an understatement. It was a hot mess. Non-singing heifer.
I will admit, Brittany does not have the best vocals. We all know that. We all understand that. We all can agree with that. We're all on the same page as far as that is concerned. Um, I would have rather her cover a Janet Jackson song, to be honest. However, I'm afraid of how I would feel after hearing it. I don't know if she would butcher. Do you think she would butcher a Janet song? What
Yes.
song could she
Yes, she
do
would.
and
She
not
would.
butcher it? I don't know.
It would have to be an easy song that's not,
It can't be. I
not a whole lot of technical stuff. You know, it would have to
maybe
be
Miss You
real.
Much. Maybe she can do Miss You Much.
No, just the whole "I miss you much."
Oh
She can't hit
yeah,
that.
yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah, you're
She'd
right
have
about
to
that.
have everybody else sing that.
Yeah.
She might could hit. Okay, I think I have some redemptive. She could probably do Black Cat.
Yes, I agree with that. She can probably do a good job of
We'll
Black
leave that
Cat.
there.
I can agree with that. Now I don't watch Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. However, I did watch it when it first started coming out, but Ray J and Princess Love were spotted at a club again, kissing on each other. Like we
Oh,
I,
P.S. They've been showing up on the Atlanta one because the Hollywood no longer exists. But go ahead.
gotcha. Okay, and so I don't know why they are going around in circles with one another. It's been reported that they've been trying to get divorced for the last 10 or so years, and they're not together, and then they are together. It's like the fact that they're in the public eye, it means that we're watching and that we're going to see it. And when we see it, we then ask questions. Just so y'all know, I'm tired. I'm tired of the back and forth. It's annoying at this point. It's really annoying at this point. But anyways, I just want to put that out there that they were spotted kissing at a club. Jennifer, do you have any opinion on Ray J and Princess Love?
This kind of hints to the fact that the reason why they're still not married.
Right.
Excuse me, not divorced.
Hmm.
My thing is this: some people enjoy, you know,
The back and
the
forth.
back and forth. Some people ignore the absolute negative moments, the moments where you wish that it could be you, but you like what this provides you. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And if she was no longer, to be honest, if she had just a little bit more princess love, I believe if she felt like she still had it and that she could find somebody and somebody of means and still be able to be all right, I think she
Hmm.
would have been gone a long time ago.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think she enjoyed what being with him meant for her, and I think she still enjoys it.
Clearly.
I believe she loves him. I believe she doesn't.
Obviously. Yes.
I believe she doesn't love what he does to her
Exactly.
on a continuous basis.
Continuous
But I
basis.
believe that's what keeps her married. It's just that love part.
Hmm.
You know, one thing I always say about love, you can't help who you fall in love with. That's very true. And everybody tries to
Right.
use it as an excuse, but it's not because you know who you don't need to be with. Love
Right.
is involuntary, but
Yes.
you can't voluntarily stay with abuse.
Exactly. Because the door is wide open. You can walk right on out. You can walk right on
Take
out
your
with your
kids,
own 2 feet.
listen to Lemonade, and keep it pushing.
Right. Okay. Because that's the space you're in, girl. That's the space you are in. I will say though, Ray J is not aging one bit. Like he has looked the same age since he was on Moesha. Okay, like maybe not the same age because he does look a little older than he did in Moesha, but he still look good. Well, to be in his 40s, about to turn 50, maybe he still look good.
A part of me thinks about I just hope Ray J keeps his life because the things that he mess in and the things he be doing.
Yeah. He out here.
I'd be a little bit concerned as to whether or not he's long for this world.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that.
You
Anyways,
you know you know what I'm saying.
I do know exactly
All
what you're
right.
saying. So apparently, Miss Nene Leakes has a talk show. This is the first thing I'm hearing of this. And so Miss Latasha Scott, ex member of the R&B group Escape, was one of her guests. And Nene, threw her jabs in there about Candy not being able to dance and all that good stuff. But they discuss her relationship with Tamika. And Latasha uses the example of the fact that Tamika got pregnant around the time they were about to do the video for Understanding. Understanding was on their first album, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken. And so that's when they were first starting. And Latasha, they wanted to kick Tamika out of the group because she was pregnant. And Latasha says, well, if Tamika goes, then I go. And so Latasha feels as though Tamika should have had the same energy Latasha had back in the day. She should have had that same energy when she claims that she was kicked out of the group. But let this be clear. Let this be clear.
Say it, Johnson.
Latasha did not want to show up for scheduled performances. And I feel as though Latasha thought that Escape is not going on if Latasha Scott is not on the stage. So, if I don't go, then they ain't gonna go. Well, they went,
You thought.
okay, and they went. They're still touring. They're still doing their thing. And I feel like Latasha thought that she was irreplaceable. And it's like they didn't even have to replace you, girl. They're going out as a trio. And sometimes Tiny's daughter is performing with them as well. And I think that's really, really sweet. I love seeing that. But and then Latasha went on to say that she owns the rights to the name Escape. And I find that really, really hard to believe that only one member owns the rights to that name. And why would they be out here still touring, still putting out stuff with the name Escape if they know that they don't have the legal right to do so? Knowing that you will sue them because I don't know what Latasha's money is looking like these days. However, I would just assume that she would
Assume.
feel the urge to take them hoes to court. So, it's like I feel so when I want to feel bad for Latasha, I'm then reminded of her actions. I'm reminded of how she's been treating people. I'm reminded of the things that Funky Don Evil was saying in that video that you sent to me earlier today. The fact that she allegedly stole from Tamika, the fact that her husband was taking money out of their pay for performing. Like, and the thing is, I want to say I want Latasha to do better, but I don't know what doing better looks like for Latasha or would look like for Latasha in my eyes, because I don't know if I would believe it, because who Latasha is just seems to be who she is. And I just don't expect her to change whatsoever. Jennifer, what were your thoughts on her whole segment on Miss Nene Leakes' talk show?
We don't believe you.
We don't. No.
I did see something. So this came from the Neighborhood Talk. There has been an update, new evidence that shows that Latasha's name is included with Tamika's on the active Escape trademark.
Wow.
When what's her name? Not Latasha. What's
Tamika?
the other one? Tamika, Lord Jesus. When they were talking about how she wants to be able to go through the process of suing, I'm like, hold on. How can you sue when one of the people that's got their name on the trademark is singing with them and able to give them permission to do it? So that's the thing that I feel like I knew. You
So
know what I'm
only
saying?
Tamika and Latasha own the name Escape?
Yes.
Okay.
They
Gotcha.
own the name, the trademark Escape.
Gotcha. Okay.
So when they were going out as just three at one point,
Mhm.
they were like X3 or something like that, right?
Right.
And then after Tamika and Latasha got on better terms again,
Mhm.
they went through the process of purchasing the trademark. What's
Gotcha.
funny, if I don't know if you remember way back in the way back,
Mhm.
but it was actually Latasha's money that paid for it. Tamika didn't put any excuse me, it was actually Tamika's money that paid for it.
Gotcha.
Latasha didn't put any in on it. She had
Wow.
$30,000 to do it, but I guess she didn't do, she didn't wanna, put in on it.
Mm.
So, it's as much Tamika's is as it is to Latasha's.
Wow.
So, this is, I found it, but this is nothing new. Um, yeah, it's sad to me that um Latasha's going through all these ups and downs.
Mhm.
But my thing is this: do right by people, and they might just do right by you.
Absolutely.
When you do too much wrong to people, eventually you find yourself stuck in a corner with nobody to be your friend. And I believe that's where Latasha is right now. She can't even reach out to her sister if she wanted to.
Mhm.
The thing, and what's crazy, like her sister is attached to the lifeline that she has. Of
Absolutely.
course, she wants to sing and do things, but no, you thought you were about to, gotcha, with that last special, and thought you were going to move on and do your own thing and use the show to catapult that, as if nobody was going to look at what you were doing and say, no, you're wrong. That's why you purposely made a gospel album to try to give yourself some kind of redemption in the
Right.
bad things that you're doing,
When I
knowing
heard
that
she
you're
only
doing.
sold like a couple hundred copies of that album, I was like,
Child, she didn't even go wood.
I
That's what I
didn't I
heard.
couldn't even believe it. Like I haven't heard like that would be like my album, getting out there. You know what I'm saying? But like Latasha, like a person with a name and history and
Yeah.
relevance. But it is what it is. Any comments before we move forward, girl?
No, let's go ahead.
So I heard this other story. I'm not exactly sure where it came out of, but an assistant principal has been arrested for forcing a 13-year-old student who was sent to her because he was throwing papers during a test, forcing him to rub her bare feet. And she allegedly also told him that he was doing it wrong, so she started massaging his shoulders, saying that this would help him with foreplay for his future girlfriend. And she also referred to him as sexy chocolate. This was a Black woman. She was actually a doctor. I can't remember exactly what her name is, but this took me by complete surprise. And this can't be an isolated incident. Cannot be an isolated incident. And it almost like Sinead said, throw up, because I cannot imagine being in that young man's shoes, being forced to rub. I can just imagine her putting her feet in his lap for him to massage. It's just so disgusting to me. And it's so unfortunate the way that some adults will take advantage of the power and authority that they have over these young people to make them do what they want them to do. And y'all just got to do better. We all have to do better in some way, shape, or form. But that just was disgusting to me. Absolutely disgusting to me. And I just wanted to make sure y'all knew about it. I wish I knew her name. But
She don't deserve it. Oof, child. No,
did
thank
you hear
you.
about that story, Jennifer?
No, I didn't. That was absolutely disgusting. No, thank you.
It was. Anyway, so we're going to spend the last couple of minutes talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta real quick. I did release a review for episode 6 earlier today, so make sure you check that out. Make sure you like the video, comment on it, and all that good stuff. Um, Miss Britt, who was embarrassed by Kenya in the previous episode.
Mhm.
I feel sorry for her in the way of what happened to her. No one deserves to be put on blast in that way. Although the information that Kenya shared was available for the public to see, although Britt said in the episode that she tried to take all that stuff down. But if Kenya was able to find it, someone who does not know you personally, then that means anybody will be able to find it. So there
Child.
you go. It's not like she went into some vault or she asked one of Britt's friends, well, send me that video that she put out on OF a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like it's none of that. But Britt was apparently on Watch What Happens Live, and my loctician Mitchell, shout out to Mitchell, told me this yesterday while I was getting my hair did, that she was on Watch What Happens Live shading all of the girls. And she also got on Angela this past episode for asking her, because Britt revealed to the girls during some type of shindig that Kelly was putting on for Britt to support Britt. She said that she was losing her business license. And Angela was like, oh, why are you losing your business license? And Britt got all up in arms and was like, why are you asking me this? And why are you coming to me with this type of energy and all this good stuff? And, of course, Angela stood up for herself. And I'm starting to like Angela even more and more as time is going on. So they switched seats. Then Shamia took it upon herself to ask the exact same question. Britt took no offense to Shamia asking the question, had no problems with Shamia asking the question, but hey, that's that's something else. And I know that I've talked about this in the in previous videos before, but I cannot stand the way that Portia is treating Shamia like shit on national television, and Shamia is doing nothing about it. She literally had a scene with Portia at a golf thing, or a golf little area, and she said in her confessional, you know what? I do want to address the fact that Portia tried to shade me when I was playing everybody my song that I was so excited for everybody to hear, trying to say that it sounded like a Drew Sidora song, but Portia's going through a lot of things right now, and this is not the right time to do it. And so when Shamia does do it, I don't want my expectations to be too high, because I know that she's not going to do it in the manner in which I would love for her to do it, because I want her to cuss Portia clean out, tell her, oh, sit down, ho, let me tell you about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want her to give Portia the business, but I just know it's not going to happen. It might happen at the reunion, because Andy's real good at bringing up those questions that a lot of the fans who are watching want to know. So I'm sure Andy sees it like the rest of us do. So maybe it will be it will be talked about during the reunion. However, Portia thinks she's that girl. I'm here to tell you, Portia, you are not. Jennifer, what did you want to say? I saw your hand was up a little bit earlier. I just had to get that out.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you this real quick before you continue. But I personally believe Shamia is not saying anything on purpose. And
I know she's not saying anything on purpose. I can get that. I understand that.
I believe she wants the world to see how she's acting towards her. What's really smart about that is being able, because they haven't done the reunion yet, right?
Right.
So you're able to see how people are reacting to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the reunion time, she can actually really go in full fledged, because she sees that people see it. Because it could have been a chance that people will be like, she ain't doing too bad. Treating it lightly, because it's possible that it could have happened that way, but no. So she has her opportunity to legitimately go in on her and let have. I believe she's very smart in that aspect. To be honest, I believe that she might be holding that for, just another thing to bring out for the future, because this is a show.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's clear and everybody sees it. So I believe she'll take her moment to do it soon.
Everybody sees it. And Portia also spoke to Shamia on this most recent episode, saying that she spoke to Dennis about him not filming with Drew. And 2 episodes ago, Dennis was literally filming with Drew in the recording studio. So we'll see what happens when Portia finds that out. Once again, Portia says, it don't make me never mind. I don't care about it, but it's part of your literal storyline that Drew is filming with your baby's daddy, and you have an issue with it. Although you're saying that you don't have an issue with it.
But you have an issue with it.
But you have an issue. This is why I don't like Portia. Like I never liked Portia. Never a day that she's been on Housewives of Atlanta have I seen it for that girl. And she just continues to prove me right every single time I see her on that show. Every single time I see her on that show. Kelly is continuously being my favorite on the show. I love Kelly. Although I am a little skeptical about the way that she seems to be up under Britt's arm like this entire time. But I think she's doing that because Britt really doesn't have any friends in the cast. Really don't know, none of the girls really see it for Brit. And so I think Kelly kind of sees her out on an island by herself. And Kelly wants to kind of, because Kelly really doesn't have any friends on the cast either. So they're sort of kind of friends by default at this point. But I just don't want any of Brit to rub off on Kelly, because I love Kelly. I think Kelly's amazing. I love her entrepreneurship. I love that she's about getting her money. I love that she's about her kids. I love that she seems to be a classy woman. She hasn't done anything out of pocket. She doesn't talk reckless about people, although she did say, "Why did Portia steal that man's husband?" But it was a
Well,
valid question, so it is what it is. But hey, so be it.
do we put it as stealing though?
Well, those are the terms that she used, and I think she used those terms for a specific reason, because she
To get
knew it
at
was
her.
going to garner a reaction from
Yeah.
everyone who heard it, especially when she was saying it in front of Portia's best friend Shamia, knowing that it would get back to Portia eventually. So she said it for a reason. Whether she believed it wholeheartedly the way that she said it, who knows? And that's really not relevant at this point. But because she actually said it to Portia's face, like, yes, I sure enough asked, why did Portia steal that man, steal that girl, woman's husband? So, Kelly does what she does, and I support her.
Mhm. Miss Kim says, Brit was doing the most. She's so phony.
So phony, so phony. And,
Um,
and and I don't even see it for her relationship, because I don't know if anyone else has seen her interactions with her husband, but he seemingly has no interest in her. He doesn't seem like he has any interest in her. And I want to compare it to another couple that I've seen, but I can't. No other couple is coming to my mind. But he doesn't seem to have any interest in her or her life. He doesn't want to have her. Doesn't want her to have his children, because he keeps telling her to wait on it, even though her and her mother are begging him to put some seeds inside of her. But it's
that's
and I'm not
sad.
going to take it where I could take it, because I could throw some things out there about the man, but hey, I don't know that man personally, so I'm not going to put that on him. I'm just telling you this is what I see. Go ahead and read that comment, Jennifer, if you will.
Um, Miss Kim says Portia is so jealous of Shamia.
Very, extremely, and it shows, and it's sad to see. It's really sad.
And she also says Portia has never been that girl. And you know
Never.
what? With Shamia showing up the way she did, I believe that wholeheartedly now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oliver Lee says, yeah, she just keep flipping the script. I'm just saying.
Okay. Jennifer, we are out of time, girl. Why don't you go ahead and give us your social media contacts real quick, girlie?
My name is Jennifer Star McCullum. You can go ahead and call me the Light of the Leo. I am the Light of the Leo on Instagram, TikTok, for now at least. Haha, it's gonna change. Um, for Instagram and TikTok, as well as YouTube. All of that's gonna change eventually, though. Um, so ride with me on that one. Um, and I'm also connected to Faithful Warrior Ministries. You can see me every Saturday, as well as my brother JoJo Speaks. Um, we come together every Saturday at 10ish a.m. to enjoy a time of prayer and devotion. Won't you join us? That is with Faithful Warrior Ministries. And that's it for me.
Wonderful. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is WilliamJonathanLee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $JonathanLee07. That's $JonathannLee07. Once again, that's JonathannLee07. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I had a blast. Thank y'all so much for interacting with us there in the comments. I love you guys for watching. Make sure you guys join us next week. Same time, same place, same beautiful faces. Until then, we'll say bye for now. Hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there. Love you guys. Bye,
Love
guys.
you. Miss Kim said, Brit husband might want a husband of his own. Oh gosh.
And with
Okay.
that,
Okay. Oh, and Dustin said a big fan of Portugal. Haven't I think he meant Portia. Haven't been wanting. Oh wait, Portugal. Yeah, haven't been wanting watching the current cities of Housewives, Real Housewives of Atlanta. But thank you for telling me, Jonathan and Jennifer. Have a good night. Love you. Love you too.
Love you too,
Hey,
Dustin.
hey, Mamere. We're going out. We're leaving, Mamere. Bye,
Thank you
Mamere.
for coming, though.
We love you.
We
Bye, you
love
guys.
you. Bye, y'all.